Step 4. The most unbelievable strange rock structures from Earth's past. Earth always conceals wonders, and rocks with peculiar shapes are the clearest evidence of that creativity. With just wind, water, and time, Mother Nature can carve such bizarre rock masterpieces they seem not to belong to this planet. From giant rocks that have swayed for centuries without falling to vertical stone pillars in the desert. As if from an alien civilization, all are mysteries challenging both science and human imagination. Deep in the arid land near America's Capitol Reef National Park lies an incredibly strange scene called Bentonite Hills. Here, gently undulating earth hills resemble frozen ocean waves in a desert. Each hill is covered in layers of colors, from gray to wine red, lavender, chalk pink, and light blue. As if someone just threw the painter's palette on the ground. According to geologists, the bentonite clay layer here formed from ancient volcanic ash dating from 150 to 200 million years ago. This soil has strong water absorption and erodes easily when dry, so hill surfaces often appear wavy like ripples. Each vibrant hill color reflects different minerals in the volcanic ash, making no two hills identical. Interestingly, this area has no signs or official entrance, so few tourists know about it. However, for nature enthusiasts or photographers, this is truly a hidden gem. At sunset or after light rain, the light plays with thin mist, making the entire scene glow like a dream. Standing in that space surrounded by silent colored hills, you might feel you've left Earth for another world where nature is the painter and the desert is the canvas. Ha Long Bay, like a vivid watercolor painting created by nature, stretches along our country's northeastern coast. Appearing as a unique masterpiece with over 1,600 islands and islets emerging from emerald waters. Ancient limestone mountains lying like legendary dragons across the sea. Each island carries its own distinct shape crafted by nature. Some islands resemble turtles, lions, sails, and even giants sleeping underwater. Geologists confirm Ha Long Bay formed over 280 million years through tectonic movements and prolonged erosion. Rain, wind, and sea waves slowly carved limestone into towering cliffs and mysterious caves hidden deep within the islands. Moreover, the bay is a cultural cradle in ancient Vietnamese people, with archaeological evidence showing traces of ancient communities thousands of years ago. If you ever quietly drift on a boat through the bay at dawn, you'll understand why UNESCO recognized this as a World Natural Heritage Site. This is not just a wonder to behold, but to experience with all senses. Lena pillars are known as the unyielding stone guardians of cold Siberia. Along the chilly Lena River banks, towering stone columns rise like ancient warriors standing guard for millions of years. This is Lena Pillars, a surreal natural wonder like a gateway to a mythical world carved by time's power. Geologists determined they're over 540 million years old from the early Cambrian period, when life began sparking in the primitive ocean. Formed from limestone, sandstone, dolomite, and shale, these pillars endured millions of years. Withstanding icy winds and meltwater from glaciers, gradually forming vertical blocks 100 to 300 meters high. In winter, when snow covers everything and weak Arctic light shines, the area becomes a silent, cold stone cathedral. Conversely, in summer, under the northern lights, the rocks glow brilliantly with amber-like gold, creating a vivid natural painting from ancient times. Recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site since 2012. Lena Pillars are not merely a geological wonder but also a library preserving fossils of ancient creatures that swam in the primitive ocean. Resilience in nature. The White Desert in central Egypt, about 500 kilometers southwest of Cairo, is a mysterious white stone battlefield, once an ancient seabed of dense limestone and sediment layers. This place was transformed by harsh climate, as seawater receded and sand winds blew strongly, shaping white rocks into strange monuments. Some look like giant mushrooms, others resemble animals like chickens or rabbits, even like frozen cauliflower in the desert heart. During daytime, sunlight reflects dazzling white, but when sunset falls, the entire area transforms into brilliant pink-orange yellow hues. Many tourists choose to camp overnight among these natural sculptures under moonlight. The scenery becomes magical, like sleeping on the moon. Currently, the White Desert is a strictly protected national park, not only for geological value but also for the unique beauty nature bestowed. This is truly a place you must visit to witness the miraculous creativity of heaven and earth in its most primitive and powerful form. The journey takes us to Al-Ula, the ancient stone city in the arid desert of northwestern Saudi Arabia. This is considered the world time for God. Al-Ula appears as a surreal landscape with towering sandstone cliffs. Shaped over hundreds of millions of years, Al-Ula is over 500 million years old, with rock columns and arches of fantastic forms finely polished by desert winds. Most prominent is the giant elephant rock, as if bowing under the vast desert sky. But Al-Ula isn't just a natural wonder, it was once the center of the Dayton Kingdom. Coexisting with Petra and Jordan, dozens of tombs carved directly into cliffs along with ancient inscriptions and remnants of the incense root remain intact, telling stories from over 2,000 years ago. Today, Al-Ula has become a top heritage and ecotourism destination. Visitors can walk through red rock canyons to stargaze under pristine desert skies, witnessing firsthand the blend of eternal nature and ancient human hands. The Drombeche Stone Circle, also known as Bantho Truid on the green hills of Chogzia, is an ancient mystery that makes everyone stop and ponder. Under lush green hills, giant sandstone blocks stand arranged like massive altars, enduring proudly for hundreds of millions of years. The name Bantho Truid is not random. According to legend, it was once a sacred site of ancient Druid Celtic people for performing millennial rituals. Although there is no clear archaeological evidence, the shape and isolation of the stone cluster has sparked countless mythical stories across generations. Geologically, these rocks were formed from grinding stones 300 million years ago when Chogzia was a vast coastal plain. Over time, wind, rain, and weathering created sharp, stacked sandstone layers resembling altars carved by nature, not human hands. Today, Bantho Truid is not only a destination for this, but also attracts nature lovers and exploration enthusiasts. Sitting atop the rocks looking down at the wide valley below, you'll feel the powerful tranquility of the land, as if waiting for the next story to unfold. The arid land of California reveals a scene that makes one feel as if lost in another world. A vast salt lake spanning about 182 square kilometers, where calm waters embrace towering limestone formations rising like ruins of an ancient city buried under the sea. This is Mono Lake, one of the oldest lakes in North America, where nature has silently painted a surreal picture for over 760,000 years. Mono Lake has no outlet. Water can only escape through evaporation, making the salt concentration 3 times that of seawater, creating a particularly harsh aquatic environment. But in these conditions, a fascinating phenomenon occurs. Tall tufa peaks form from the combination of calcium-rich groundwater and carbonate-rich lake water. The reaction between them produces limestone, gradually accumulating and forming towers growing underwater. When Los Angeles authorities began exploiting the lake's water in the early 20th century, water levels dropped sharply, revealing a series of previously hidden tufa towers. One of them stands over 9 meters tall, twisted as if shaped by some prehistoric artist's hand. Despite the harsh weather here, Mono Lake is still home to millions of migratory birds each year. This unique ecosystem survives thanks to tiny organisms like brine shrimp and alkali flies thriving in the dense alkaline water. Requinon is not truly a canyon but the eroded edge of a vast plateau. However, the scenery here leaves anyone setting foot for the first time in silent awe. At over 2,400 meters above sea level, red rock spires rise densely like ancient church towers. These rock spires are called hoodoos, formed from sandstone layers and accumulated mud from 30 to 60 million years ago. Unlike canyons formed by rivers, wreck was carved by nature through a persistent process over millions of years. Rainwater seeps into rock cracks, freezes at night, expands, and gradually breaks the surface. This process repeats over 200 days each year, creating countless strange shapes, no two hoodoos alike. When dawn breaks, the entire valley seems to ignite in brilliant light, with orange, red, and pink hues blending together, making it resemble a natural cathedral conducting a ritual. In winter, snow covers the rock spires, creating a stunning contrast between pristine white snow and fiery red hues. At night, the sky at Canyon is one of the least light-polluted in North America, ideal for stargazing and astrophotography. Moving to White Pukit, a magnificent stone labyrinth as if from another planet. Deep in the desert of Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, White Pukit appears like a stone dream, where swirling patterns in vibrant red, white, pink, and orange rockways blend into a surreal scene. Staying here, you suddenly find yourself in a completely different world. White Pukit is made from ancient Navajo sandstone formed about 190 million years ago when this area was a giant sand dune. Over millions of years, geological forces folded the rock layers, and wind and rain eroded the sandstone, leading to these exquisite patterns. Unlike famous nearby spots, White Pukit requires no permit but is remote, accessible only by high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicles. This isolation has helped preserve its pristine beauty away from crowds. At dawn or dusk, when light dances on the twisted rocks, White Pukit becomes a paradise for photographers, as every angle is a masterpiece of nature. It feels both unreal and vivid to the point where you can't look away. Each swirl in the rock tells a story of Earth's continuous movement over millions of years. Feel as if you. But be patient, as more wonders await your discovery ahead. Hidden in the peaceful scenery of North Yorkshire, Baden Hammock appears like a sculpture garden created by nature over millions of years. The rock formations here are not alike. Each block has its own distinct shape. Some look like a whale surfacing, some resemble a dancer balancing in midair, and others appear like a pair of hands reaching out to touch each other. There is no repetition, only the limitless imagination that nature brings. According to geologists, these rock formations were formed from sandstone, finely ground by ancient rivers. For over 320 million years, throughout history, wind, rain, ice, and flowing water have eroded the soft outer rock layers, creating surreal, dreamlike shapes. Around the 18th century, people believed these were the work of witches or ancient pagan worshippers. Today, Buddingham Rock is one of England's prominent outdoor destinations, attracting many photographers and nature lovers with its timeless, magical beauty. As the sun gradually sets, the light spreading across the grassland creates a scene that makes viewers feel as if it wandered into a fairy tale, where nature freely paints wonders. Deep in the southern Utah desert, in the Hodo region, giant mushroom-like rocks stand silently between earth and sky. Their smooth white rock bodies combined with gray-brown tops make them appear as if from another world. The landscape here is tranquil and dreamy, each rock formation the result of millions of years of geological processes. According to experts, these rock structures originated around 160 million years ago during the Jurassic period. They formed from sedimentary rock layers of ancient riverbeds and floodplains in the Morrison Formation. Over millions of years, the softer underlying rock eroded faster than the harder upper layers, creating slender column-like shapes with broad tops resembling umbrellas defying gravity. Unlike the vibrant red rocks of Hodo at Brent Canyon, the Hodo at Whitesop has a creamy white hue, glowing in daylight and turning silvery at dusk. The scenery here gives the feeling of stepping onto an alien planet. However, the journey to this area is not easy. requiring visitors to hike over 8 kilometers across 5 meters of dry rock. But the effort is entirely worth it for the peace and the moment of witnessing the harmony of rock, time, and wilderness. To preserve these rare rock formations, motorized vehicles are not permitted, and visitors are advised not to touch them, as even a slight push could damage the structure, erasing beauty formed over millions of years. In the vast desert region of Utah, there is a strange place that astonishes anyone who sets foot there. That is the Valley of the Goblins, which from afar looks like a fairy tale stage, where thousands of ice-like creatures stand motionless in the sunlight as if awaiting a miracle. Each rock in the valley has a distinct shape, some resembling heads wearing hats, others as if leaning to listen, all making viewers feel as if they've entered a science fiction movie. Geologists say these unique rocks formed from Entrada sandstone accumulated over 170 million years ago, when this area was under a shallow sea, and over time, wind, water, and mildly acidic rain eroded the soft rock, leaving strange shapes with round heads and short bodies, with no two alike. Each rock goblin having its unique character as if possessing a soul. Interestingly, visitors can freely walk and leap between the rocks, and even climb on some smaller boulders, provided they respect the natural landscape. Arriving here at sunset, golden light covers the rocks, making the entire valley appear mystical, both amusing and deeply meditative. An experience that makes one realize nature has its own sense of humor. In Australia, on the edge of the vast Jameson Valley, stand 3 towering rock pillars, like 3 women silently gazing toward the horizon. The indigenous people call them the 3 Sisters, a sacred symbol of the Blue Mountains. According to legend, the 3 sisters were once real people, turned to stone by an elder to protect them from danger during a tribal conflict. Sadly, he died before he could lift the curse, leaving the 3 sisters petrified forever, standing there from generation to generation as an immortal symbol of kinship and sacrifice. Geologically, these 3 rock pillars are made of the characteristic sandstone of the Blue Mountains region, formed about 200 million years ago when this was an ancient seabed. Over millions of years, wind, rain, and river water eroded the surrounding rock, leaving only 3 sharp peaks rising high, prominent at the sea of mist. Each rock pillar stands 300 to 900 meters above sea level. Today, the 3 Sisters are an unmissable destination for nature-loving tourists, with hiking trails, the Edgerboy Lookout, and the Skyway cable car. Wherever you are, you still feel something very strange, as if this land is quietly observing you. Through the eternal stone souls, it remains still for millions of years. On the clear blue waters of Tasman Bay, in New Zealand, a rock shaped like an apple stands out in the open sea. The strange thing is that the rock is perfectly split in half, as if someone just cleaved it in 2 with a sharp blow. This place is called Split Apple Rock. Split Apple Rock. According to scientists, this granite rock is over 120 million years old. The crack in the middle formed from a natural fissure that water seeped into. When temperatures drop, the water freezes and gradually splits the rock apart, a long but spectacular silent process. However, the indigenous people here have a different story. They tell of 2 gods fighting over a sacred rock. In their anger, the gods split it with supernatural power and left the mark for posterity. Split Apple Rock is quite close to shore, so the best way to approach is by kayak, especially at low tide. With its nearly perfect symmetrical shape, along with the peaceful surrounding scenery, this is the ideal spot for photography, relaxation, and experiencing the wonders bestowed by nature. A quiet moment where humans seem to shrink before the silent greatness of the universe. You see, these strange rock structures are not only nature's miracles but also whispers from the past to the present. Each rock, each pillar, each stone block carries within it a story about time, about geology, and about the hidden power of nature that transcends all limits. Not only beautiful, these wonders also remind us to cherish this planet more. The purity, pristine beauty, and mystery that Earth took millions of years to create. Let every exploration be not just a journey of sightseeing but also an opportunity to connect, listen, and experience. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to mystery_course so you don't miss our next journeys with us. Goodbye and see you in the next magical explorations.